think we need to somewhat find way of appreciating that kind of an occurrence. But I leave that for another day, maybe when I would have time to attend the portfolio committee on defense. There is an area, Chair, which I think which was not necessarily dealt with. That the appointment of service providers, for example, take this service provider who was taken on for the construction of the fence, wherein the argument of the department is that that service provider has been there, has been doing that work, and you'll find out that the current appointment is on the construction of that fence, which is not necessarily what that individual has been doing there. He has been appointed initially for repairs here and there, the fence and so forth. So that it doesn't surprise me when you find out that rather than buying the materials, they made use in some areas of old materials which were lying there, in terms of finishing the scope of what they were supposed to do. And the department doing so, has it taken it wisely that individual should be, a company should be given that piece of work without following the proper instances of appointment of that kind of an individual. Because if you follow the prescripts as outlined by Treasury and the actual appointment of that service provider, the date of the first order in terms of the procurement directives, and those matters are leaving some kind of questions as to the individual or the contractor who has been engaged in the offense, whether properly such instances have been followed appropriately. And there's this thing that has been there for how long has this company been involved with public works? Talking about public works, for how long has that company been there? Can we be given in a specificity as to the engagement of that company with public works, on its own contractual standing? And the last area is the area that relates to these matters of an environment. The acting DG says that the environmental affairs has been notified that scope has not been somewhat followed. That's after the fact. And what is the response of the Department of Environmental Affairs? Because it's clear that appointment, that finalization was done on the day when the department visited Beitbridge and they inspected the fence and took a decision that we have to erect this fence and we have to deal with it this particular way. So I think we still need those kinds of questions answered. Thank you very much, Chair.
All right. No, thank you very much, colleagues. We're going to hand over to the ministers for their final reactions and responses. Of course, colleagues, a fundamental question has arisen insofar as the bilateral and regional interactions of South Africa insofar as Zimbabwe and SADC is concerned. And of course, whilst it may be a worthy topic and issue to discuss, I would request that we do not lose focus of the primary and principal issue at hand, that we are dealing with a border fence which is not fit for purpose and in our view was wasteful and fruitless expenditure. We are filling in the gaps of what we have already seen insofar as that fence is concerned. And the Minister of Defense will be appearing before the Defense Committee on the 16th of October, if I'm not mistaken. And therefore, the issues which have arisen here, insofar as Zimbabwe is concerned, will enrich that discussion. And so I request colleagues that we refer this matter, that we interacted with the minister today, and there are issues that have arisen which form part and parcel of the Zimbabwe-related matters, so that we can empower that committee to have a perspective which they may not have about some of the issues. And that issue is insofar as the movement of people is concerned, because what is clear here is a collapse of diplomatic interactions and relations insofar as the humanitarian crisis in Zimbabwe is concerned. And so I fundamentally believe that two wrongs don't make a right. Our interventions into Zimbabwe, about Zimbabwe, should not leave behind a trail of non-compliance and disruption of our own laws and regulations insofar as the movement of people is concerned. And therefore, I think, Minister, you will have an opportunity to explain further on this matter on that day, but in the set of written responses that we require for referral, I will request that this issue is flagged, because the fence is there for a purpose and for a reason. It is to ensure the legal movement of people. And what is fundamentally clear is that that's not happening. The fence has got 122 breaches on the watch of the SANDF. That should concern you, and I hope that, as you say, you're going to go back to the Military Command Council and the Joint Ops, you will be able to raise that issue and place it squarely on their shoulders, that here's a fence which has been erected on top of another fence built in 1984. And in our assessment, the 1984 fence looks to be in a much better condition, as derelict as it is, than the new fence of 2020. And so all those factors combined speak to uncoordinated border management operation. And there are serious breaches there, particularly beyond all else, is that the advances and frontiers. This is a very complex and complicated matter, and Home Affairs in itself will have to explain how it interacted with the SANDF as the people responsible for the deportation of people, as to why the SANDF took on a role and responsibility which was outside its own mandate on a humanitarian basis, inconsistent with the law. Whatever humanitarian interventions we make must subscribe to the law. And so I make that observation, colleagues, because I see that this issue has got the potential of now clouding or overshadowing the primary area of focus for the purposes of this meeting, to tie down on the gaps. But I think we do need to move ahead responsibly on this matter, and for the minister to provide explanations in greater detail insofar as the dilemma that she has presented before us and the breaches of the law. I think there is no dispute about that, because, colleagues, for so long as the borders are there and we are putting up fences, for so long as we recognize that they are regional and bilateral interventions and relationships, it means that we are duty-bound to uphold those realities based in law. So I think the minister will understand that we are quite concerned about, because there are financial implications for the state insofar as all these things are concerned. What does this all mean for the fiscus? The illegal movement of goods. When people come in here illegally, then they are aided and abetted in their movement by the SANDF. We are interested in the rands and cents. So what are the financial implications? What does that mean for the collection of taxes and excise duties and so on when people move freely and willy-nilly kanjalo? What is the impact of the movement of those people on the healthcare infrastructure in South Africa? And financially, what does that mean? Who bears the costs of those people? Those are things that need to be ironed out and cleared out diplomatically between Zimbabwe and South Africa. And therefore, it can't be an ad hoc operation on the basis of imizwa nobuntu, right? Only, as much as that is a consideration to be made. Colleagues, the issue of Mahwa construction has been raised. I fundamentally believe that we must make a serious recommendation in finding on that. I think along the lines of a special audit by the AG on this matter, that will be very, very important, because clearly this is a company that is entrenched within the Department of Public Works. To Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, we are obviously going to be making recommendations, including but not limited to regular reporting. We'll make a determination on when we want those reports, on the disciplinary processes that we want when we finalize our report, because ultimately we want consequence management, which is going to be meaningful. And already we all know, seated here now, there's no dispute, there was corruption. The fence is not fit for purpose. There has been fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and therefore our expectation is that the outcomes of the disciplinary processes must reflect that. A contrary outcome would mean that the process in itself has been flawed. So I hope that you will get your ducks in a row and you are going to be meticulous in your processes of finalizing these disciplinary processes, consistent with already established findings about the extent of the corruption that has taken place at Beitbridge. Remarks and then hand over to make final remarks. The fence, in your view, was it necessary to be put up in the first place? As the people who are responsible for the border management, because you need a fence or not. I think we need to know, or Public Works, did it consult you on the need for a fence? I think we need to know, or did they just go and erect a fence? And why I raise that is, was there a ministerial discussion? Because the Minister of Public Works issued a directive. And I would have imagined that to issue such a directive to put up a fence, there would have been consultation with the line function minister responsible for the securing of the border before that construction would have taken place. That is the link between defense and Public Works. Was it a fence that Public Works commissioned out of their own volition and own accord without consultation? And that is why we keep saying, what was the role of Department of Defense on this matter? So I think we do still need to know, Minister, from yourselves as Defense, about the necessity of this particular fence. National Treasury, I want to reiterate, has not played ball on this matter. And they are dragging of feet as far as I'm concerned, insofar as complying with the directives we have given, is a dereliction of duty.
Honorable Chair, can I be given a chance, Honorable Chair? It's General Nombecheni. Yes.
Excuse me?
Honorable Chair? No,
Yes.
I was raising my hand, sir, but I think my hand is not visible on your side.
Because I can't see you.
It's
by yourselves.
Okay. It's Major General Nombecheni.
Yes.
Yes, sir. No, I would like to have a chance to explain some of the operational issues.
No, but the horses have bolted now in that regard. The minister requested for an opportunity to make written responses because of your inability to answer to the questions posed to you at the beginning of the meeting. You have, I indicated to you, have not interacted with us in a manner which was consistent with what we wanted. You know.
Yes, sir. I was putting a hand, sir, but I think my hand couldn't be seen. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but as I'm saying to you now, that the minister has made a request and you're going to speak through her now. I'm not sure what it is that is additional after all the discussions that we have had, because at the outset, when questions were posed to you, you sought to distance yourselves from this. So I'm not really sure where we was. I'm on the matter of National Treasury now. So if you may defer to the minister, and when she makes her responses, if she deems it fit that you come in, then you will do so. But what I'm saying, colleagues, is that National Treasury has not interacted with this process in a manner that inspires confidence. And I think we do need to make a finding and a recommendation in that regard, because they are seemingly now stringing us along, not wanting to be committed to their own commitments as directed by us here in the meeting. So I think there are two matters that have arisen. One, the issue of the fence is very clear for all of us. We have confirmed it with the oversight. Today we're filling in the gaps, but there are new matters that have come out which we cannot ignore because they have got a material bearing to the relationship between border management and that fence, as the minister had raised. So may I hand over then to the Minister of Defense to respond to the issues that may have been raised now by the colleagues in the second round, and then and she may then, if she wants the officials to come in, she will point us in the direction of those officials, and then the Minister of Public Works and her team as well, right? The Minister of Defense.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thank you, honorable members. And I thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to appear before SCOPA on a matter related to this fence. I'm particularly happy about the fact that some of the responses I have provided to this team are such that they require for us to have more interaction, of course, to the other committee, so that everybody can be at the same wavelength in terms of understanding the nature of the issues we are dealing with, particularly as they relate not only to Zimbabwe, but generally with our neighboring countries, and maybe in this case, with specific reference to Zimbabwe. And I also want to thank you, Chair, for protecting me, because I don't think right now it is a time for us to discuss the matter of the jet to Zimbabwe. I think that if SCOPA at some point or another committee of parliament decides, they will then invite me or summon me to a meeting and for me to present exactly the details about what happened. You will then recall, Chair, that this happened about 3 weeks ago, and not once have you heard my voice as the person affected, whether on radio on TV or in the newspapers, I have been silent. I'm silent because I am waiting for that opportunity when which will be presented to me to answer questions, be it from Parliament or even the Public Protector. Well, the Public Protector is also investigating this matter. So for Honorable Liz to then already he's come to a conclusion about my fitness to hold office and everything. Well, I just think that the Honorable Member has a right to a view, but perhaps at this point in time, I don't think it was necessary for him to be personal in the manner in which he has done. At the end of the day, Chairperson, when I present the facts on Zimbabwe, you will know and understand that I did not go to Zimbabwe to visit the Victoria Falls. I did not. I went to Zimbabwe precisely because of some of the issues which now we have identified here. But we are saying that discussion will be for another day. Issues of instability of national security of Zimbabwe are impacting negatively on the state of security of the Republic of South Africa. That all of us, we know. But as I say, at that point, we will talk about issues of national security, national interest, and how the challenges of Zimbabwe are impacting on the work which we are doing every day on the ground. And therefore, the need for South Africa not to adopt an approach which says, well, Zimbabwe must solve its problems. Actually, we are so unfortunate that we are neighbors with many, many other countries, and we have no choice but to go in and intervene when it is necessary and engage with our counterparts about the challenges which they have and how they impact on us in South Africa. So at that point, Chair, when all of those matters have been discussed, when I too have been provided the opportunity to have my say, then at least the Honorable Liz can move the motion which he is moving opportunistically in this committee right now. Chairperson, you have raised a matter of whether we knew about the fence or not. Chair, for a long, I think if we had allowed, it's a pity General Nombecheni did not from the beginning present what they know about the fence some years ago, not now, not yesterday. Because I thought he would have said there was a time when there was contemplation from Joint Ops to put up a fence. And I'm aware that one of the things which I said when that was raised, I said, as long as you will not put up an electric fence, this is not apartheid South Africa. And I think at that point, people then went back and have never come back. So this is not a matter which has been discussed, Chairperson, recently by the Defense Force. But in the past, some years ago, the Defense was contemplating with the idea actually of putting up a fence. The issue was, what kind of fence will that be? Do you want to have an electric fence on the borderline? What would be the implications of that? And from a political point of view, to be honest, I was saying I would not favor a situation where you put up an electric fence, generally. So, and I'm saying that's a matter for another day. If the committee would like to invite Joint Ops to present what they, at that time they were discussing, that was some years ago, Chair. The Joint Ops will be there to discuss that particular matter, and I will also be there to listen. On this particular matter, Chair, I know that when the decision was taken that there's a need for us to close certain borders, leave X number of borders, do everything to shut the country so that as we have get infected by the virus, we don't spread it in the region. As any other person gets it from wherever they are, they should not bring it to South Africa. So there was that discussion which says, South Africa, you need to shut off. That is why it has taken us up to, I think, level 1, even to say we will open up the borders. It is because of those fears that we may transmit the virus to other countries, or they or any other person may actually even spread the virus from another country to South Africans. That discussion we did not have, we did have. But then, of course, then the minister did make a presentation to an NCC meeting. I think she can attest to that, that as the Department of Public Works, they have decided that they will put up a fence and as an emergency measure because of the fear of this in and out flow of people between Zimbabwe and South Africa. But as for a discussion with defense and agreement on whether we should move now or not, there hasn't been that kind of discussion. In fact, I do want to say, Chair, I've taken note of the mention of a Major Makubela from the SANDF. I don't know, SANDF or police, but I will take up the matter. Fortunately, if he's a person who's dealing with issues of the border, he would be in the joint ops environment under General Nombecheni. So I would then request Nombecheni and team to get a report from Major Makubela, because the advocate Mutiba from the SIU pointed out that even though Major Makubela did cooperate with them by way of appearing before the SIU, but he seemed to have expressed some legal reservations about I don't know whether to testify or whatever. So those are some of the...
If I may assist you on that one, because it was a matter brought to our attention,
okay,
was the issue that Major General Makubela, who had been in the meeting on the 17th of March, when appearing before SIU, was unable to proceed with providing responses because he was not mandated by his superiors or supervisors to interact with the SIU. I think Advocate Mutiba is speaking about legal issues. That is the issue. And so I think we brought to attention, that is the context. What the minister must ascertain is who then would have given a directive or a guidance or an advice or an instruction that do not speak. That's what it was. I don't want to call it a gag order because that will be something else. That is the context of how that happened.
Oh, thank you very much, Chairperson. I will maybe actually Nombecheni would have wanted to, Nombecheni, if he has information about that aspect for clarity to the committee. Do you have any information about the matter of Major Makubela?
Right, you can hand over to him. That's why I stopped him earlier, because
yes.
Can you say something?
No, Minister,
you now have an opportunity. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister of Defense and Military Veterans. Thank you, Honorable Chair. In the matter of Major Makubela, I did not get any response from that side. I will make a follow-up to ensure that the minister is empowered in terms of what happened from Major Makubela's side. Thank you, Minister.
Chairperson, if you allow me, what the question I would want to know from General Nombecheni is, it's not about whether
Yes.
he had a mandate to go to the committee or not. The point is, what role, I would be interested, what role was he working with a team of public works on the fence or what? That's what I'm interested in. General.
General, you may respond.
Yes.
I think this is a helpful exercise because amongst
Yes.
other things, it poses communication lapses which have characterized this entire mess.
Yes, General.
Good day, Minister. Again, I don't want to put you on the spot, my Minister, because I will have to just go back now to the Tech HQ of Limpopo to find out if the guy was the engineer or was he deployed as a company commander in the area, so that I can give you a proper answer. Thank you, Minister.
So Makubela is based in Limpopo.
Sorry,
Yes.
Minister.
Yes, Minister.
I don't see how that puts just 1 second, Minister. I don't see how that puts the minister on the spot, General. It put you on the spot, in fact. That could have had a major who attended the site meeting on the 17th of March. And when he appeared before the SIU, he would have said what he said. And if he's reporting to you, that puts you on the spot, not the minister.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Chair, I will make a follow-up on that, the issue about Major Makubela, and then the minister will put that in writing to give him the proper information. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chairperson, you can conclude your responses.
Chairperson, I will follow up on this matter because, excuse me, because Major Makubela, even if he's a major deployed in Limpopo, there is a forum through which they should account to the head of Joint Ops. And Major Nombecheni, amongst other people, is one of the most senior people in the Joint Ops Center. And I would have then expected them to know what is happening there. So I will then follow up the matter, Chair. Chair, the matter of I don't know how I should explain this. The matter of people crossing the border, coming into South Africa to buy food, being accompanied. It's not like from the report I have received. I posed the same questions you have. How did you do it? How do you take them to transport available? Because that's what I was told, that they actually literally arranged for transport to take them to the border and arrange for them to cross back to Zimbabwe, right? From what I'm familiar with too in the area. It's an area where you have things, small places which sell food, this, that. I'm assuming that this is, I shouldn't be making an assumption, but I'm assuming that they buy in the area and then they get them into these cars and they send them back. But that's all the information I will request, because at the time, unfortunately, when we were discussing it with the Military Command Council, I was a bit annoyed because I had seen it on social media. There was a footage on social media. So all I needed was clarity. What is this? Are you escorting people who are crossing the river? What is it? And that was the clarification I received, that minister, if you go there and see what is currently going on during this period of lockdown, it's a difficult situation to a point. I recall one general who said, Minister, the sooner we engage with the government of Zimbabwe to make them appreciate the gravity of the situation in that country, the economic conditions of that country, and how people cross, literally defy everything to cross into South Africa to buy food. The sooner we do that, the better. So I'm just saying that it's good, Chair, that you invited us here so that we can make those points so that we are aware of them, because then either you invite us back to explain some of the things, or maybe we can do that through the portfolio committee on defense. I don't know, Chair, if there's a question which I have left, which I did not answer.
I think, Minister, you have covered all the bases. Anything that is required, we will send in writing. I'll map up that roadmap once the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure is done. I think
Thank you very much, Chair.
Important issues have been covered.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Honourable
Minister
members.
of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson, again for the opportunity. Chairperson,
Mr. Delil?
Can you hear me, Chairperson?
Yes, we can. You can proceed, Ma'am Delil, no problem.
Okay, thank you very much. I was saying just thank you for the opportunity once again, Chairperson. I do believe that, you know, as ministers, as public representatives, that we must be held accountable. And the more the public hold us to account, the harder we will work to take action. So I certainly appreciate this whole episode that is unfolding before us, and also work in progress. And therefore, Chairperson, the Deputy Minister and myself, we are prepared to commit ourselves to the further work in progress by the Auditor-General, the further work in progress as far as Treasury is concerned, with Advocate Motibe and the SIU proclamation. We will give our full cooperation and indeed work together so that we can finalize this report as soon as possible. We also committed a Chairperson to give a regular updated progress report as far as it's concerned the disciplinary hearings or any other information that is needed by the committee. And we look forward to get the committee's questions, the additional questions in writing. And I will make sure, Chairperson, that we respond to SCOPA as soon as possible, so that you can also conclude your work. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Minister Delil. Colleagues, we've already, of course, got our draft report, and today was to fill in the gaps. And I think that the issues which we are flagging are important, because they point to us in the right direction. I think what is of fundamental clarity here is that there is no dispute that corruption has taken place insofar as Beitbridge is concerned. Corruption which did not even deliver a fence which is fit for purpose. And there are serious lapses on the part of the SANDF to even secure that fence, which there is the end user. 122 breaches on their watch. That should sit as a serious area of concern, as it is an indictment, in fact. But we are also cognizant of the fact that the contract did not have a maintenance clause, in the one that Public Works entered into with here. There was no maintenance clause. So there are lots of failures of process in this entire issue. I just think, colleagues, Public Works must obviously fast track the issue must fast track the issue of the disciplinary processes, and of course we'll be making a recommendation in that regard in terms of the reporting framework on progress, so that this is not a cosmetic disciplinary process, one that will actually arrive at a logical legal conclusion with consequence management consistent with the scale of corruption that has taken place. I think Advocate Mtibi, we will facilitate a process to ensure that the interview which you wanted with the officials of SANDF will take place. I'm not sure what legal considerations may have applied. The defense has got questions to answer to insofar as this matter is concerned, and they will do so. And so, Minister, once you have arrived at the explanations of the set of circumstances, it will be in the interest of justice that Major Makubele is presented to the SIU to go and answer to questions, because it is an important piece of the puzzle. And so, colleagues, I will request that if you've got any further questions, as the ministers have requested and the officials, for the purposes of further responses, if we may please receive those by tomorrow 10 o'clock with the support staff, and then we will send them through to the two departments by close of business tomorrow. I do not imagine that there will be burdensome questions really, because 99.9% of the work has been done, and request that we receive those responses by Monday midday from the two departments, so that they can be circulated to members, so that we can have this report finalized within the next 14 days for submission to the House. It can't be open-ended. So I will assume that if we don't receive responses on Monday, 12 o'clock, that we are being conclusions on the matters. Colleagues, I would like to, sorry, my connection failed me there. The point I was making is that if we do not receive the responses by 12 o'clock on Monday, the committee will be allowed to assume that it can arrive at its own conclusions in the absence of the responses. And so we will request that those presented to us, and colleagues, we will interact with the Standing Committee on Defense, the defense committees, on the very serious issues that have emanated from this meeting today, so that they are not lost. I would like to therefore take this opportunity to thank you, colleagues, to the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure and the Deputy Minister, and all the staff of the department, Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, and the military officials that are here, and Advocate Mtibi, SIU, AG, noting the absence with serious concern of National Treasury. Colleagues, I think we will have to make a fundamental and very serious finding and recommendation on that matter. Colleagues, with those words, thank you very much. The meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. Thank you.
Colleagues, take care, be safe. Zobonana on Thursday.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, members. Bye-bye.
Long live the chair.
Thank you.
Amanda.
Bye, Chair.
Bye, guys. Take care, colleagues.
Amanda, what tatapila Amanda up? What is Amanda up? What tatapila?
Yakuba, Asmanga. Thank you very much for permission. No, we are here. Uyaphila. Kade sinaye izolo. He's doing quite well. No, he's very well.
Okay, thank you very much.